Good evening, and I'm Toni Thorne, and welcome to the Toni Thorne Show. And we're filming here from the beautiful Hilton Resort. I'm joined by a new friend, and she will be known as Flower for the purposes of this interview and for her safety as well. And we're going to be discussing domestic violence and abusive relationships. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I always believe that in order to effect change amongst persons, it's always good to get an example. So I want to thank you for trusting the show and coming on the show to share your story, because I'm sure that there's somebody out there that's in an abusive relationship that, would be able to know how to maneuver after hearing you. So talk to me about the relationship. You were in an abusive relationship, correct?
Yes, I was. It didn't start as an abusive relationship, because a relationship would not start abusive. But what I found, like 6 months into relationship, 6 into 9 months into relationship, after I moved in with him, that he would start having jealousy. His jealousy rate was really high. He couldn't talk to anybody. And at that time I was a cashier at the arcade, and arcade is mostly men, and if I see somebody in town with him, he want to know who it is and why you got to stop and talk with them and that kind of thing.
Did you see signs when you were dating?
But at that time, don't forget, I was new to this thing, so I didn't know that there was a name for the thing. I didn't know that there were signs, and when I did find out that what domestic violence is, all the signs were there, but just that I didn't know.
So you didn't know that there was something called domestic violence?
Nothing
or
like
being
that.
In an abusive relationship. You just thought it was just how men are?
Not really how men are, because it's not my first relationship, but I find that his acting was not what I was accustomed to. Okay. And it's nothing, it was new to me, so it was like a foreigner to it.
Okay, at any time did you see it as confusing it for love, and maybe this is the first person that loved you as much as he did?
Not really confusing it for love, but the attention seeking. The way how he paid special attention, make sure that I was always outfitted well and having the jewelry. Not that that was what I was looking for, but I mean, make you feel wanted in a lot of ways, not only physically, but he will provide for you. You never lack anything. But then on that other side, then you have all of these things, but then you don't have friends. Because when your friends come to the house, you would get up and walk out, and then they don't want to come back. You do the same thing with family, so then you become lonely. So you have all of these things that assumably make him happy, but then I weren't happy because you're just lonely. It's just you and him.
How did the relationship deteriorate? Talk to me about that.
Okay, I can't remember what happened that he hates me, but I knew that it was a hard hate. And as I said, I can't remember if it was an argument and what the argument was about, but this lash just came like from back plaits, because I'm open. So you can't tell me nothing, I can't tell you back. My mouth big and full, so I ain't accustomed to hush and let me talk. That's not me. So it came like
in your face?
In my face.
And what did you do after that?
I was shocked. I didn't know if I do anything. I didn't do anything that time, but then the second time, then when it started to happen, when he would start to use objects, then anything he put his hands on, I would fight back like a dog.
Did you ever leave?
Not at first. When I left for good. But I started to want to fix it, to make it what it used to be in the beginning. So I said, when he was in his camp, I said, you realize that we have a problem. We are quarreling and we are fighting like dogs.
What did he say? Did he admit that he had a problem?
He did admit he had a problem. When I said, well, we can get help, he did take that help. We went to our first counseling session. That was it. One session, and he didn't go back.
Why? Why do you think he didn't go back?
I guess it was hitting too close to make him accept that, okay, you're not normal, you have a problem, this is not how you're supposed to treat women.
Do you think that his problem was as a result of he saw it in his home as a child?
From talking with him and with some person that was affiliated with him, afterwards I recognized that it was something he witnessed in his home growing up.
You had an accident?
Yes.
And as a result of that, you are going blind?
I am blind in the left eye.
As a result of his violence?
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, after I left the house, I had to get a protection order on him, and then he started to stalk me. Well, what we call stalk, but Barbados.
Stalking how? Explain to me.
Because all the information that he gathers from you was on this beautiful relationship, and he want to visit mommy and sister and cousins and friends, this same information then he used when I left. So he visited these people and tormented their lives to find out if I was there. Right?
Tormented how? He would come at late hours in the night?
Not really, but he would be aggressive in his visits. At one point in time, he had pulled a weapon on my niece who was home studying. to find if I was there. So then he started going to my children's school. The children were not his. So he started going to their schools. And I had to end up pulling the children from school. My son was getting ready to sit common entrance exam. And then I had the protection order, so the children went back to school on the conditions, picked them up early, before time and all of that. And one day, the Monday after he had the protection order, he was in prison, I must say, for the threat that he would have made, because he made a threat that he was going to kill me and anybody in the way they would get it to.
So he was in prison?
So he was in prison. He was remanded on that charge, but when I got the protection order, he said to the judge he has a daughter to look after, and they give him bail.
So his daughter was for you?
No, thank God we don't have any children together.
So he said his reason for not going out, his reason for getting bail was because he had a child. Okay.
And he was the sole provider of this child, and
so he couldn't benefit her being in jail, so he got bail. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So the Monday after he got bail, I took the children to school. And when I was coming back, I thought I saw him in the vicinity of the children's school. So I said to my girlfriend when I got by her, I thought I saw him. She said, yes, because he called here to find out if you had gone with the children to school. So the evening, I picked up the children. They were separated because the school was under repair, so they were at church. The school was based in the church temporarily. So one was at one. I picked up the oldest one, which was 11, getting ready to do common entrance. I'm going to pick up the 4-year-olds. And I was explaining to this guy because I was really getting nervous because the time was crunch time. And I explained to this guy in the van what was happening and what. I said, man, look, don't panic, I can take you home with the children. And he said he drove into this gas station to get some petrol into the vehicle, and I saw him approaching. And he said he wanted to talk to me. He was in a bicycle. And I said, you say you're going to kill me, so if you want to let me talk to me here. So he dragged me out the van, and while he's there, it happened so quickly. I saw him going to his waist, the waist of his pants, and the struggle ensued, so I was right in front of him. And I got the first gunshot in the middle of my head. The second one, I got just missing the temple, and that is the one that damaged the nerves in the left eye. And that was lodged in the middle of the nose. And then the last two I got when I got up and tried to run into the gas station.
Did anybody in the gas station or the van try to help you?
I said, when I saw him, I said, call the police, I have a protection order on this guy. So when the shooting actually happened, I ran into the attendant and they said, but I thought you were making sport. Because nobody takes domestic violence or these kind of things seriously. They don't want to get involved. It's not my business, that is your business. So nobody wanted to help until after the shooting happened, and everybody wanted was to help. But the fact is that
nobody stepped in.
Nobody stepped in. And really and truly, I don't think I could blame him because it's in a gas station and he's firing. He's not a perfect shooter, and they're...
No. It comes down to just having a general concern for another human being. So you have to, you can't see somebody in despair and not help them.
But generally that's Barbados for you. And that's the people in Barbados has become very selfish, and nobody wants to get involved with anything that does not directly affect them. I guess when it directly affects them, then they want somebody to help.
So what happened after this unfortunate accident?
After this, I was in the hospital, and unfortunately, police didn't hold him for like 2 months after. So the torment continued. When I came home from the hospital, I stayed at a friend in, let's say, in the vicinity close to the police station. Don't want to give out too much.
Yeah.
And as I got home, my father had just came in from New York to visit me. And as I get at the house, the phone rang, and I hear my girlfriend say, "What you want?" And it's like instant diarrhea, straight to the toilet, because I could not believe that this man was still after me.
So weren't policemen at least doing like a patrol in your area?
Yes, they were, but yes, they were, and
okay, good.
Yes, they were doing the checkups. When I got to go back to the hospital, they used to be there to protect me. But my thing is, they couldn't control him calling. All they wanted to do was to let me listen to see if you can pick up if it sounds like a familiar place. I listened once, but the place was so dead, there wasn't couldn't pick up anything. I said, I'm not listening to him again.
Do you go to counseling?
I went to counseling, I had to. Otherwise I couldn't be talking to you today.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, so we had both me and my son, because I was shot in front of my son.
I want to know how it would have affected him.
He, luckily that when he saw him approaching, he was long, but he was thin. So he went underneath the seat, the long seat in the van, so that he couldn't see him. Because I knew that if he had seen him, he would have shot him too. Because he knew then that he would be able to recognize him, you know. But he became...
He would have shot your son?
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that he would have shot him, because he looked into the van to see if anybody in there was in there that recognized him, you know, that know him for sure, that could have given a name or whatever.
Are you still living in fear of him?
No.
Why? How do you get to that point where you're not fearful?
It has been 14 years. During the first 5 years, I was still fearful, although he was locked away. But it's true tremendous counseling. Counseling works. And then I had the mindset, in order to move forward and not live in fear and have him dwelling on me so that I can move forward, I just release it and let it go. And then I decided then to be what I am deemed as a domestic violence advocate. So I gave my story so that I can help, if I help one woman a year to come out of this thing. So that is where but the more I give my story, the stronger I become.
He's still out. He's not in jail.
He is, he has done his time and he's back in society.
Has he harassed you since being out?
I saw him twice since he was released, and he hasn't.
You think that he's learned his lesson?
I don't know to say learn lesson. May have somebody else not to worry about me. Just move on to somebody else. But I can't speak for him to say he has learned his lesson, because I don't know.
What would you say to anybody, any viewer right now that's watching and in a domestic violent relationship?
I would say, don't suffer in silence. Don't think that this is my business. Seek help. Talk to somebody. Let somebody know, a family member. Let somebody know what you're going through so that you can get the help, so that it won't have to come to this point where you are seriously injured or killed, unfortunately.
What would you say to society?
I would say to society, domestic violence is everybody's problem. Because if you look at it, when I get shot, I have to go into the hospital. This is resources. I cannot work, so my job is lacking an employer. Your taxpayer money has to feed me. So if you help somebody, if you step in and try to intervene and not think that it is not my business, that is your business, you make up your bed, you lie down in it, we got to get rid from that. We have to be a more caring society.
Thank you so much for joining me.
You're
God
welcome.
bless you.
Thank
really
you.
good meeting you. If you or anyone knows of anybody that is suffering from domestic violence, please see below for more information. God bless you. We'll be right back.
The Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. This is where you belong. Over the years, we've cared for you to help you meet your needs. Trustworthy, dependable, so you can grow financially. The Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. Strong Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union. This is where you belong.
Me time is so necessary, and luckily I found a brand new indulgence in 4 wonderful flavors. Sometimes we can indulge with the basics. Vanilla milk has always been a favorite. Whether it's reading my favorite book, chilling with my friends, or watching fun videos on YouTube, there's a milk for every occasion. Sun Collection Designer Eyewear for men, women, and children, located on the first floor of Lime Grove Lifestyle Center, Holetown, St. James. Visit suncollection.com or call 246-271-8250. We here at the Toni Thorne Show always like to promote positive initiatives, and these may be positive initiatives for men, for women, for boys, and for girls. And I'm joined here by Miss Marissa Hutchinson of I Am a Girl Barbados. Thank you so much, Marissa. So tell our viewers, what is I Am a Girl Barbados?
I Am a Girl Barbados is a not-for-profit organization. We mainly focus on girls between the ages of 5 to 17 or 18. Our membership is based on mentorship, and we focus on helping girls develop into the best model citizens they could be.
Tell me about some of the initiatives that you have. on stream?
Okay, our main project called Generation Y, which is broken down into 3 different projects. We have a Easter retreat in April, March to April. Then we also have an after school program, which is usually on Thursdays, which we call Girls Club. And we also have, hoping for next year, 2016, to have a summer camp.
How many girls are in Girls Club?
At the moment, between 12 and 15.
Okay, lovely. And what do you do at Girls Club?
We mainly do various developmental programs which will help them develop their minds. So whether it's etiquette classes, sometimes we even let them bring to the table what they like. So whether it's spoken word, music, dancing, and whatever, we let them create within their field or whatever, or their specific goals, what they want for projects, so that they too could get involved. Instead of us just doing projects for them, they do projects for themselves and girls like them.
2 questions for you. How can a girl become involved in I Am a Girl Barbados? And how can a bigger girl like us, big women, become involved in the mentorship aspect and joining and being a part of it?
Okay. Well, mainly our programs are geared towards them. So whatever program or whichever program we have running, they can be a part of. So whether they contact us via Facebook, we have our Facebook page. It's called I'm a Girl Barbados. Via email, I'm a girl barbados@gmail.com. They could be a part. Sometimes even when we go, we do outreach in schools, and sometimes we do outreach in children's home or what's not. We get responses. Even if we go to consultations and there's students there, they ask questions and they want to be a part, they can be a part of it. Sometimes we also do calls for volunteers depending on what we have. Currently we have Stop Hiding Behind Makeup coming up. That's our final project for the year. And it's based on letting them see that inner beauty is most attractive and not so much the outer beauty. And
So it's not looking down on people that wear makeup?
No. That's what I was going to say. It's not saying that makeup is bad. Come on, we're all wearing makeup. We all like makeup. But we're saying that since that makeup is appealing to them, let's not cover up what they're going through. So the project in itself is in commemoration of the UN recognized period, 16 Days of Activism for Violence Against Women and Girls. So it will focus on the issues they deal with. So whether mental health, rape, incest, relationship abuse between minors, sexual harassment, whatever the issues are, we will be trying to tell them not to hide it, not to cover it up, but there's always space into which you can express yourself, and I Am a Girl is one of those spaces for them.
Lovely. For more information on I Am a Girl, check Facebook, check them on, you guys are on Twitter as well?
Yes, please. I Am a Girl Barbados.
And on Instagram, I know that for sure. Thank you so much, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much, Marissa, for joining me.
You're welcome.
Active Moisture Plus conditioner. We have it in a 13-ounce bottle. And for those who just want to try it, those who are on a budget, we have the package. So when you just see that M, that is the new Motions package.
Maybelline Color Sensational Vivids, now bright goes gorgeous. Brighter color from our exclusive Vivid Pigments. Creamier feel from nourishing honey nectar. Maybe it's Maybelline. Distributed by Collins.
A smile goes a long way. In fact, it may travel for miles. That's the power of kindness. Be nice to all, neighbor or visitor. That way, everyone's story of Barbados has a happy ending.
People all over are savoring the aromatic goodness of the country's favorite tea. Lipton is your brighter day in every cup. Enjoy the rich, uplifting taste and aroma. Perfect anytime, any place. Lipton Yellow Label. Get the feeling anytime, anywhere. And try our new green tea with superfruit.
Turning up my television, time to join the conversation. She got style, she's got vision, she's a lady on a mission. It's the Toni.
Welcome to the Lipton sponsored Tea Time segment. I am Toni Thorne and I'm joined by 4 handsome, wonderful personalities here tonight at the Hilton Barbados Resort. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me. To my far right, we have Mr. Stephen Williams, who's an entrepreneur, and he's also a student of marketing. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Toni. You're welcome.
Next to me, I have Mr. Shane Jones, who's a sports broadcaster, well-known face, songwriter, and artist manager. To my left, we have Mr. Nicholas Branker, who's a manager at Automotive Arts. Thank you so much.
No problem.
To my far left, we have entrepreneur Mr. Dario Greenidge. I asked a group of ladies to submit questions to men that they would want men to give them advice on. And we picked the top questions, and each of you came and you picked a question to help the ladies out with some advice. What are the major turnoffs for guys in a relationship?
Well, for me, Toni, I hate a woman that's approaching with hearsay, gossip. Absolutely hate it. If me and you in a relationship, I think we should be able to talk about anything. You don't gotta hear from a third party. If somebody come and tell you I was talking to Toni, I think I grown enough and old enough to tell you, yes, I was talking to Toni. If I think she's sexy, Toni's sexy. That's just my thing.
I think a woman that lacks ambition. You're comfortable where you are. There's no goal for you to go forward. There's no trying to do better. I think that turns me off the most.
I definitely agree with Nicholas. Someone, if you don't have the ambition, if you don't have the drive, if you don't have the determination to go forward, like if you're not equal with me, you know, that's the major turn off. So
yeah. A low self-esteem. You know, ladies, a lot of the time I like to ask, does this make me look fat? Does this, I don't look good in this? And when you hear that enough, you start to believe it. You start to believe them, and then you're wondering if they don't think they look good about themselves, how do I feel being someplace with them with someone with this low self-esteem? So it kind of rubs off on you, on the person.
Shane's question. I go on dates with a guy who only wants to go places which are dark and have one-on-one interactions. Is he sensitive, or is it that he just doesn't want to be seen in public with me?
I think straight off the bat we can almost write off the sensitive part. I know how it seems. It seems immediately that the person is either embarrassed or maybe may have a girlfriend or trying to hide the girl. So what I would do in this situation, if the roles were reversed and it was a lady wanting only to meet me in these sort of situations, because they always have to give people the benefit of the doubt. So I would probably, you know, go do some homework, do some social media homework. If you check and see any past boyfriends, them old pictures from 2008, and she got up all the pictures posted, and then telling you, oh no, but I don't do this, but it was in that kind of relationship before. Chances are the person either is with someone, the guy is either with someone, or only doesn't want to be seen with you. And there may be a variety of reasons for that reason, that he doesn't want people to see you with him. So I think the whole sensitive part doesn't really make sense to me, because guys, you know, we like to be a girl, like we think you look good. We don't mind if another guy sees, you know, even though we don't want him to say anything to her that we don't want him to say, but we want him to see her and know that this is what we're working with.
Yeah.
So I think the whole sensitive thing is it's saying, and the lady that submitted that question probably needs to be a little more true to herself and be a little more real.
I've been with my boyfriend for 9 years. He has always said he believes in marriage. However, despite numerous talks, living together and a child, he refuses to pop the question. Should I take a hint and leave, or be more patient?
If you leave, then you're still not. If you think this guy is the guy of your dreams, or there's a guy that you want to spend the rest of your life with, how does leaving help the situation? That's one. Two, is it the right setting for you to be married? For me, I'm not going to get married and still living at my parents. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get married and I got to invite only 5 guests. I don't know. I don't think it's something that you should take a hint. It's not a hint. If it's something that he does believe in and he wants to get married, I think it's something that you can speak about.
But Nicholas, 9 years though, seriously. After 9 years, 9 years is a long time. So her saying that is a hint. Personally, as a woman, I would advise a friend of mine. He does not want to get married to you. If he's always wanted to be married. They live together. They have this setup. They live together. They have a child. She's been nagging him about it, and he hasn't popped the question. They could go to the court. What's so hard about that? To me, that's a red flag.
To do what? To put on a ring and change
Yes,
the last
if
name?
he's always believed in it, why is it that 9 years of being in a relationship with her, why hasn't he done it?
It might just be a case where he might not be at that place, as Nicholas said. He might not have his own home.
So how long it take? 36 years?
But it doesn't matter the time. At the end of the day, she wants a marriage to last the rest of her life. She doesn't want to be in a marriage today and then 2 years down the road.
You heard what you say, she wants a marriage. Let's stop at that.
The variables of that situation, though, to be honest, the man says marriage is what he believes in. They're together for 9 years. They live in
Together,
the same
have a
place,
child.
and they have a child. I mean, I really don't think that man will marry the woman.
Exactly. My hubby hates me putting up sexy pictures on Instagram. But I always see him liking pics of sexy women on said same Instagram. Should I call him out for double standards, or this is a small issue?
Well, firstly,
Excuses, no.
if your hubby liking pictures on Instagram is any type of validation for you, I think you need to relook your relationship really and truly. But I say that it is just a classic case that he wanted to protect his merchandise.
Protect his merchandise.
Well, at the same time, I Googling everybody else's.
But is that fair?
I think what would be double standard is if he is telling her she can't post.
He doesn't let her post him
Right,
sexy pictures.
But then he is also then taking pictures of himself and posting.
No,
I think
no.
that would be double standard.
I think
Correct.
I know.
Correct.
That would be double standard.
I agree. If he was posting pictures of himself, right?
Exactly.
I know if I see a real sexy picture, a girl on Instagram that look good, and I like the picture, may wake up in the middle of 2 o'clock in the morning, I see the picture, I know I'm thinking about her. He may be thinking subconsciously what the man thinking about
Can I
his
say
woman.
something? To me, the double standard is, I just saying as a woman, to me, the double standard is not if he was putting up sexy pictures of himself, Nicholas. I think the double standard is that he is telling her not to post pictures of her, sexy pictures of herself on Instagram, but then he liking sexy pictures of women on
That's
Instagram.
not double standard. Why doesn't he want her to put them up? It's not because that it's mostly not because that he thinks that she's degrading herself or anything like that. It's because he don't want the boy looking at a woman like that.
And I remember liking pictures on Instagram. Sometimes you might not even see a picture. You might just be going to Instagram and oh, I know this person here, so just get you you like based on the profile, not necessarily picture. I do that.
Okay. Do men prefer to be chased, to chase, or share the chasing?
I personally don't want any woman chasing me. I prefer to do chasing. As I guess most men would want is they prefer to run after the food. A lane in the desert.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good.
That primal instinct.
I disagree with Trey Tony.
You feel much more satisfied.
I disagree. I don't mind a woman chasing me. I chase all my life and it work out. So for once, somebody chase me. Let me see how this goes. Let me reverse roles or something. Right?
But does it? I heard Dario say earlier that if you're chasing, that means you're desperate. Talk to me about that.
Well, I'd say if the man is chasing, it makes the reward or what you get from at the end if you chase a lot more worthwhile. Because nothing in life can easy. So if she's chasing me, then for certain guys it might be the average thing, it might be typical.
If they're not accustomed to being chased.
Correct.
Wow.
How can I make moves to transfer from friend zone to wifey?
Anytime with my friends, you can't have a great
That's always saying. See, that's her problem. If she get friend zone,
Something wrong with her.
No, if she get friend zone, I think that they have a great connection, but that's the problem. But she got to change the dynamic of that connection. But honestly, if I friend zone a woman,
She gotta be ugly.
this jump between friend zone and wifey, that gap is so wide. I don't really know how much things she can do after I already made that decision that she is nothing more than a friend. I don't know what she can do.
Men don't usually friend zone women just like that.
Yeah.
They will at least sample first and then friend zone if anything.
Toni, I don't think it's anything that she can do.
Thank you so much for joining me, gentlemen, and I hope that your advice falls not on deaf ears, but is seriously taken. Thanks for joining me for tea.
Right.
This has been Lipton Tea Time segment, and good night. Thank you. You can book my gorgeous bays at Creative Fun Express. Call 834-0017. Yay! Thank you so much for joining the Lipton outro again. Thank you so much for joining the Lipton. Thank you so much for joining the Lipton Tea Time.
There you go. Hold on.
I don't want to go all day.
Let me-